We have the concerns about youth football and concussions. And you get some really high-level guys like Robert Cantu, who's the chief neurosurgeon for the NFL, who says, I wouldn't have my kid play Pee Wee football. And I gotta admit, there's some pros and cons of it. I would say this, though. You get concerned and you need extra rest for a young one who has had a concussion. But the incidence of concussions or serious orthopedic injuries is so much less in Pee Wee football than it is in middle school, and it gets higher in high school, and it's all the more high in college and the pros. Even as fit and strong and massive as these guys are, it's Newtonian physics. They're bigger, they're stronger, but they're also faster. That means they're colliding with guys that are just as big, strong, and fast. And it almost gets to like car crash scenario, the better they are. So the actual injury incidence is actually low at a young age. But if you got a young man and he's had concussions in Pee Wee football, and now he's getting some in high school, you got to be a little concerned. You got to be a little concerned for his function long term. And it's very rare that we have to shut an athlete down, but too many concussions or protracted symptoms with concussions that are getting more and more noticeable, called post-concussion syndrome. It's not the permanent problem necessarily that's chronic traumatic encephalopathy is. There was a Will Smith movie about that, CTE or quote concussion. But it's still a concern, and it can be a functional, lifelong causer of headaches. They may still be sharp as a tack. And examples of athletes that had to shut down from their career but are still doing high-level things, Troy Aikman, Steve Young, sharp as a tack, these guys. But if you get too many and you're getting protracted symptoms, you have to be a little concerned. So how likely is an athlete to have those injuries? Probably unlikely, but if one seems to have a tendency and a susceptibility to having concussions at a very young age, a young entrance into football or entrance into sports, and those concussions become more and more frequent, that's a big concern. That's a big concern. Is the main risk factor for having another concussion is having a first concussion to begin with. There's a little susceptibility that happens there.